Good evening all, and welcome to another video on All How the Owl. Tonight we are going for a beer from Vocation, and which one is it? Is this one? It is Three Flow, and it's brewed in collaboration with Amity Brew Co and Sure Shot, and it says on the side of the can that we have teamed up with our good friend James Campbell at Sure Shot and even newer kids on the block, Amity Brew Co, to deliver a modern take on a classic ESB. Big caramel malt notes are balanced with a punchy citrus bitterness, featuring Citra and Simcoe and the classic East Kent Goldings for full measure. So yeah, it's a 7% ABV, 440ml can, available from Vocation actually. It's not one of their supermarket offerings. I was about to say Tesco, but I'd have been very wrong. I'd have been happy to find it in Tesco, I must say. So yeah, I've been waiting for this one for a while, and I'm looking forward to it. So without further ado, let's get it open and into a glass. I'm finding it difficult to open cans because I sliced my finger open earlier today, which in my situation is not the best thing in the world to do. Blood thinners and all that jazz. So, Vocation glass, the pour is the right colour at least. See if we can get a bit of not too big a head, but enough of a head. Now, there we are. That looks the business. It's the right colour, it's the right kind of clarity. You've got a nice sort of, well, I suppose you call that off-white head, and yeah, it's nice. Looks lovely. You've got a beautiful kind of amber colour, a little bit of mahogany here and there in the darker areas. Lovely looking beer. So let's have a whiff. Oh, now that I wasn't expecting. It does smell Citra. Tropical fruit notes, which I don't expect in an ESB. I usually expect sort of dark raisins, fruit cakes, that kind of thing. But this one I've got citrus, malt, a little bit of toffee, but mostly citrus. Interesting indeed. So, looks good, smells interesting. Let's have a taste. Nice. So, you do get citrus. You get the toffee malt on the back end. It's got that classic sort of mellow bitterness going throughout the whole thing. It really is nice. Body is kind of light to medium, shall we say? That bitterness is just lovely. It really is nice. That is classic. Traditional beer meets craft. This is the love child. Really is. Shouldn't work. You really shouldn't get those kind of fruity, sort of almost pineapple-y, sort of lemony, zesty notes in an ESB. Not expecting that. It's really quite nice. Mellow finish. Mellow, malty. So, Three Flow from Vocation, Amity, Brew Co and Sure Shot. What do I think of you? Well, before I tell you what I think of you, we're going to go to the Aid Memoir of Untapped, and it's had a relatively low 873 check-ins with an average of 3.84, which I think is understating it a little bit, I'll be honest. It's disappointing to see the numbers that low, both on the consumption and the average score. So just for ease, I've called it the ESB on the board of joy. What do I think of it? Well, let's go for the looks first of all. It's a cracking looking beer. It looks like an ESB should. It's the right colour. You've got a lovely off-white head that is still there, compact and concise. No getting away from the fact that that's a damn good looking beer. Can't fault it. It's getting a full point on that one. The aroma for an ESB, I was expecting kind of fruitcake, dark raisins that have been steeped for absolutely ages and giving that fruitcake thing really, really nicely. Instead, I get citrus, A little bit of a tropical whiff and toffee malt on the back end. It's really nice. It shouldn't work. Is it a classic ESB? No, it's a modern take on an ESB. Do I like it? I love it. I'll give it the full point. Body. Now, bodies on ESBs, depending on which one you drink, can vary quite a lot. Some of them are quite thin, which they really shouldn't be. Some of them are quite heavy. Take like a Fuller's ESB. I find that one on cask absolutely stunning. This is closer to the Fuller's one than it is any of the others that you've had in a bottle. It suits nicely. It's nicely carbonated. It's a nice smooth mouthfeel. It just works. Is it perfect? Almost. Almost. I would hope for just a little bit more body to it, just a little bit heavier, and perhaps you get that on cask. That'd be killer on cask, I think. Don't want it in keg, I want that on cask. I'm going to give it the 0.75. Just hoping for a little bit heavier and a little bit sort of less excitable carbonation. Now we come to the most important bit of it all, the taste. And it's lovely. You've got citrus up front. You've got a little bit of tropical, maybe pineapple type thing sitting there behind it. Should it be there in an ESB though? That is a point that is up for debate. Do I like it? Yes, I do. I love the toffee malt that sits there behind all of that, and the classic smooth mellow bitterness that just overrides everything and just gives you that classic ESB experience with, like they say, the modern take of the citrus hops up front. Is it perfect? When I have an ESB, I want classic. I do really want that big punchy sort of bitterness from the Goldings. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not quite getting perfection here though. It's really rather good though. It is excellent. It's just not perfect. I'm gonna give it the 0.75 because I look for the classic. I've got classic plus a little something different. Now the finish on an ESB, I'm looking for malty smooth, delicious goodness. And on the finish, I get malty smooth, delicious goodness. It is more malty on the back end. That's where I want it. That's where I get it. It's nice and slightly fruity as well. Not in the same way as a classic ESB where you get, like I say, the raisins and the berry notes. This is more sort of citrus on there. It's a pleasant change, don't get me wrong, and I think citrus would work in other things of a similar nature. Again, is it perfect? Almost. I like it a lot, very much. I'm going to give it the 0.75 there as well. So, without further ado, that gives me 4.25 out of 5 on the old Untapped scoreboard of joy, which, given I've never had a modern take on a classic ESB, I think it's really rather good. Would I change anything? Probably not, no, because then it wouldn't be what it is. I know that's kind of arse about face and backwards logic, but it's also speaking the obvious. I like it for what it is. It's just not a classic ESB, but it sits there nicely alongside it as a complementary beverage. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I dare say you would as well if you've not tried it before. I thoroughly recommend you do. And on that note, before I waffle dangerously into oblivion, I'm going to say, that's been the beer. Down there are the buttons. You know exactly what to do with them by now. You've got like, comment, dislike, and subscribe. Choose any combination as you wish. Can't get my words out now. Let me know in the comments section if you've tried the 3-flow ESB from Vocation, Amity, Brew Co. and Sure Shot. And I will see you again soon for another video.